We're currently in Tumut in the Snowy Mountains in New South Wales, and today we're heading to Taralga, an old gold mining town. We're staying at the pub there. It's more of a sheep industry there at the moment, so for wool. We've got about a 6-hour run today. We're going to have breakfast here in Tumut first. Sorry, we're just having a coffee in Tumut first. Then we're going to head to a little town called Tumbarumba and have breakfast there. So we've got some good windy stuff to start the day. And as the day extends, we will have some good open sweepers and that. Anyway, we'll see you on the road. This is the main street of Tumut. Been here many, many times before. And usually we stay at the Pink Pub across the street. So the boys are just up ahead of me there. There's only the three of us now, and then tomorrow morning Glenn heads home to Wollongong, and Tramps and I head to, where are we going tomorrow night? Denman in the Hunter Valley, and then to Inverell in Northern Tablelands, and the day after we head home. So we're supposed to be heading, not today, but from tomorrow, I was supposed to be heading into fairly torrential rain because of the cyclone in Queensland that's brought a tropical rain depression. But we'll see how that goes. For now, we'll just enjoy our sunshine and keep motoring on these beautiful New South Wales roads. Another old iconic pub across the road there.
Now we opened up and bought some fucking big dollars, so the fucking forced to just go off. Stolen all the gold from the grocery store back there, Stu?
No. Should I? Why's that?
Nice melons for sale down there.
Yeah.
There we go. Start off right there. That's sick.
Where's the coffee shop?
We went past it, but then I went to 8 o'clock, so we've got 8 minutes.
The RAAF Aviation Museum originally opened in 1995 to provide a focus on the Air Force's involvement in the Riverina and access to the history and memorabilia of military aviation and training. The centre showcases Air Force history and the significant involvement of the RAAF in the Riverina region of New South Wales. Currently on display is a Mirage, a Korean War Meteor, a Vietnam War Canberra, a Mucky trainer and an F-111C. The aircraft display represents over 70 years of RAAF flying history. The search for a replacement for the Sabre aircraft began in the mid-1950s, with the Mirage 3 being selected in March 1961. An initial order for 30 was placed, setting the scene for the RAAF receiving its first supersonic aircraft. Subsequent orders saw the number increase to 100 Mirage fighter bombers and 16 Mirage two-seat operational trainers. These aircraft were Australia's first line of defence for over 2 decades. In 1963, the Australian government ordered 24 F-111Cs to equip the Royal Australian Air Force, but the aircraft were not delivered until 1973 because of long-running technical problems. The F-111Cs gave the RAAF a very powerful strike capability, but were never used in combat. The aircraft went through modernisation programs in the 1980s and also the 1990s, and the RAAF acquired improved weapons to maintain their ability to penetrate hostile airspace. The F-111 was an all-weather attack aircraft capable of low-level penetration of enemy defences. It featured variable geometry wings, an internal weapons bay and a cockpit with side-by-side seating, with its internal weapons including a 20mm M61 cannon and the ability to carry air-to-surface bombs. By the 2000s, the F-111Cs were becoming outdated and expensive to maintain, leading to a decision to retire them in 2010 rather than 2020 as originally planned. The F-111s were replaced by 24 Boeing FA-18F Super Hornets. The Air Mackie MB326H, designated A7 by the Royal Australian Air Force, was an ultra-manoeuvrable two-seat advanced pilot fighter trainer aircraft that served with the RAAF from 1967 until 2014. Selected as a replacement for the Vampire and Windgeel trainers, the Mackie was manufactured by the Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation in Australia, with the first aircraft delivered in October 1968. It was notably used by the RAAF aerobatic teams, the Telstars, and later, the Roulettes. In May 1946, an F-3 Meteor was taken on charge by the Royal Australian Air Force, becoming the first RAAF jet fighter. It was not until 1951 that Meteors entered regular service with the RAAF, and then they did so with a true baptism of fire. Meteor F-8 aircraft were taken into action by 77 Squadron RAAF in Korea against the MiG-15. The Royal Australian Air Force acquired 113 Meteors between 1946 and 1952, 94 of which were the F-8 variant, which were eventually replaced by the Sabre in 1955. The Royal Australian Air Force operated the Canberra Bomber, a versatile twin-jet tactical bomber, for over 30 years from 1951 until its retirement in 1982. The RAAF received British-built Canberras and later had 48 manufactured in Australia by the Government Aircraft Factory, serving with Squadrons 1, 2 and 6. The Canberra was notably used by the RAAF in the Vietnam War, operating at lower altitudes for increased bombing precision to support ground troops. starting to bite, so we decided to stop for a bite to eat. Cootamundra, or Coota as it's affectionately called by the locals, is a charming town located in a picturesque natural setting and is home to approximately 6,500 people. The town prides itself on its country values and sense of belonging, making it a warm and friendly community. Like many towns in the beautiful Riverina region of southern New South Wales, Cootamundra flourished during the gold rush of the 1860s. Today, it remains an important agricultural hub with attractions showcasing its history and notable residents. Famous cricketer Sir Donald Bradman was born here, and the locals, they won't let you forget it. So after feeding the worms and a few cold drinks, we mounted the bikes for the next leg of our journey to Harden, home of some fantastic silo art. In just a few short years, silo art has grown into one of Australia's most iconic public art movements, captivating locals, attracting visitors from across the country, and helping regional towns rediscover their identity and pride. Silo art began in 2015 when internationally renowned artists were commissioned to paint the CBH grain silos in Northam, Western Australia, earning the honour of Australia's first painted silos. Since then, these large-scale murals have transformed rural landscapes across Australia. They've sparked a nationwide movement, bringing cultural, social and economic benefits to dozens of regional communities. In New South Wales, there are 9 towns that exhibit this fantastic silo art, including Barabba, Dunedoo, Grenfell, Gunnedah, Merriwa, Portland, Quirindi, Wheathall, and this one in Harden. This one in Harden, more commonly known as the Murrumburra Mills, was completed in February 21 and is the 46th silo to be included in the Australian Silo Art Trail. After riding these fantastic backcountry roads through scenic landscape and welcoming outback towns, we made it to Taralga and our lodging for the night, the Taralga Hotel, which first opened its doors in 1876. We were in luck, as there was an outdoor event at the pub which should have attracted all the locals. However, bad weather set in and the event had to be moved inside. First order of the stop was a cold beer as usual, then a little wander around the town, although I'd been here many times before. Then more cold beers, a shower and a great meal, followed by watching our football team win while listening to some great live music. Unfortunately, this was to be Glenn's last night with us. In the morning, he would return to Shell Harbour on the south coast of New South Wales, while we continued our track north and getting closer to home. Little did we know the next day we would run into torrential rain. It would take more than that to dampen our misery. Boys.
What's going on? Apparently going to be a band tonight.
Yo.
Buck and Bull.
And the Buck and Bull.
You're going Buck and Bull, yeah?
I don't think so. So what's going on, T?
Well, there wasn't as many twisties today, but I tell you what, it was just beautiful backcountry roads. Nicely
Road Captain Glenn.
road Captain Glenn, yeah, it was great. He just led the way all the time, and catching up with all the locals at all the stops, which was always fun.
All the rednecks.
But it was just beautiful road, seeing this other side of our beautiful country that we have here, and we've just pulled into Taralga for the night with the windmills in the distance, and then a guy setting up with his band tonight right next to the hog. So I think it's a perfect finish to a fantastic day. Absolutely love it.
What do you got to say, Glenn? Road Captain?
Not much. Just sad this is my last day.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Heading home tomorrow. But, it's been a good few days. So, been fun.
My two best mates. Join the Silver Gypsies on our next episode as we travel from Taralga to Tamworth on some awesome mountain roads, visiting beautiful historic towns.